What's going on, everybody? This is Neilville Piano, and welcome to a long-anticipated episode of the MVP show. I know it's been a very long time since I last put up a video. I've had to go through my senior year of high school. It was a lot of work, but now that I've graduated and it's the summer, I'm ready to begin my new segment of having a blog every week to keep you guys up to date with all the sports that are happening in the world. Today we're going to talk about two things. First of all, the NBA free agency and the NHL free agency. Let's first talk about the NBA. There's obviously been a big amount of signings throughout the first couple days of the free agency period. But there have been a few moves that obviously, as well as many of you probably heard and seen, that have taken the world by storm. The first we're going to talk about is Kevin Durant, the all-star shooting guard for the Oklahoma City Thunder, signs a 2-year, $51.3 million deal with the Golden State Warriors. And that will make the Warriors much stronger as they try to redeem themselves from losing in 7 games at home to the Cleveland Cavaliers in this past year's NBA Finals. Now, what does this mean for the Warriors? Well, they're getting another all-star shooter and another three-point all-star, and that means that they're going to be able to put up a lot of points. But it's also tough for me to think about how he's going to fit in to their system. With Andrew Bogut and Harrison Barnes both leaving the Warriors to go play for the Mavericks, I think it's tough for me to see who's going to be their big man. Now, it could be Draymond Green, but he's also another three-point shooter. Obviously, the Warriors have turned the three-point shooting game into their ultimate weapon, but as you can see in Game 7, if you were watching, that they really struggled, the Warriors, they really struggled with trying to get the ball inside as much as the Cavaliers were able to do that. Now, Kevin Durant, this is kind of like the LeBron James thing where it's almost like he's being called a traitor. How could you leave Oklahoma City, a team that drafted you, now obviously with Seattle at first, but Oklahoma City now? How could you leave a team that loved you so much? How could you leave, all-star point guard Russell Westbrook by himself now, even though he's got Victor Oladipo? The team is much weaker now in Oklahoma City, in my opinion. But how could you leave a city like that? Well, I think Kevin Durant is getting pretty tired of not being able to get it done in the postseason. Obviously, this year being up 3-1 against Golden State and not being able to get just one more victory in order to go to the NBA Finals. And so Kevin Durant's in that mode of, I want to win a championship now. And so he went with the best option he could find, and that was Golden State. Now, I think the Warriors are obviously now favorites to win it all, but I have a tough time seeing them win it. I think that even though they have most of their team stacked, I think having Andrew Bogut and Harrison Barnes both leave, that's a big key, especially Bogut, because he was their big man getting blocks and, coming off the bench at times and making a lot of big plays. So I think the Warriors are going to continue to struggle to get the ball inside. They're obviously going to be great three-point shooting, but if they're not on their game from the three-point line, they're an easy team to beat, in my opinion. Now let's talk about the next NBA free agent market here, and it's Dwight Howard signing a 3-year, $70.5 million deal with his hometown team, the Atlanta Hawks. Now, what does this mean for Atlanta? Well, they're getting a big-time center who was a former All-Star and considered probably one of the better players in the league, but he's had a rough couple of years, especially in Houston, since leaving the Orlando Magic, and it's been a very difficult time for Howard to regain his well-known persona as being a big man and an all-star. But Atlanta is definitely going to use Dwight Howard as not only a big marketing deal, a hometown kid coming to play for his hometown team, but an opportunity to help the Hawks continue to get better and hopefully make a run at the Eastern Conference title and go up against the all-powerful Cleveland Cavaliers. No disrespect to my Cavs fans out there, my bad. But, like I said, I got to congratulate you guys on winning the title, and I'm very happy for you. But what does this mean for Houston? Well, obviously, with Dwight Howard gone, they're going to need, to find another big man to fill that hole. And that means probably more pressure is going to be put on guys like James Harden, obviously, and Trevor Ariza. But I still think the Rockets are still in good shape, and I think that they'll be able to continue to do well and hopefully make a run at the title against, like I said, the all-powerful Golden State Warriors now with Kevin Durant. And the last big deal I want to talk about is actually a trade. It's not even a free agent signing. It was a trade between the Knicks and the Chicago Bulls, in which Derrick Rose went to the Knicks for Robin Lopez, Jose Calderon, and Jerry Grant. And the Knicks also got, with Derrick Rose, they got point guard Justin Holiday and a 2017 second round pick in the NBA draft. Now, what are we looking at with regards to the Chicago Bulls? Well, they just signed Rajon Rondo, who's obviously had a few up and down years since leaving Boston, as he'll fill in that point guard position. They drafted Denzel Valentine, guy out of Michigan State. He's a great player. I think he should have won Player of the Year in college basketball, but I'm being a little bit biased, obviously, because I have family who went to Michigan State, but he played phenomenal, and I think the Bulls got a steal in the draft getting him. But with Pau Gasol leaving the Bulls to go to the Spurs and Joakim Noah signing with the Knicks to join Derrick Rose, that puts a lot more pressure on guys like Valentine and Butler and Rondo to really carry the load. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bulls struggled, but I could still see them making the playoffs. Now, with regards to making a run at the title, I think they're going to need another 2 or 3 more years in order to rebuild after losing a talent like Derrick Rose, even though he had all of his problems with his injuries. Now, what do we have for the Knicks? Well, besides Derrick Rose, they also just signed Brandon Jennings yesterday to probably be a guy to take out Derrick Rose every now and then off the bench. But Derrick Rose, if he can stay healthy, he is a phenomenal player with a lot of athleticism and a lot of skill. And I think he could definitely bolster that Knicks offense with Carmelo Anthony and Kristaps Porzingis already there. I think the Knicks are definitely now a big favorite, in my opinion, to win the Eastern Conference, even though the Cleveland Cavaliers are still pretty stacked, even though they still have a few free agents left on the market, including Richard Jefferson, my boy, from the former New Jersey Nets. But again, not trying to be biased here. But I wouldn't be surprised if you saw the Knicks deep into June. I wouldn't even be surprised if they made the NBA Finals. I'd be very impressed. But if Derrick Rose isn't healthy, I just don't see that this could be a good fit for him. Obviously, this is going to be a great marketing tool for the Knicks to use to get more people to come to the games and get more season tickets. But if Derrick Rose doesn't stay healthy, I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it. I just see the Knicks continuing to struggle, and it will force Phil Jackson to maybe have to reconsider doing a rebuild instead of just going after the title immediately. Now let's talk about hockey. The NHL free agency also started on July 1st, and there was obviously a few big deals. But there were 2 humongous deals that happened several days before July 1st, and that was these 2 trades. The first off, my hometown, New Jersey Devils, that's why I'm wearing this hat. The New Jersey Devils traded away their former first-round pick defenseman Adam Larson to the Edmonton Oilers in exchange for forward Taylor Hall. He was a former first overall pick back in 2010. He's been known to be a 35 goal scorer per year, and that's going to bolster the Devils' offense. Obviously, Mike Camilleri was hurt for a lot of last season and wasn't able to perform the way that Devils fans were hoping he would. But the Devils